Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.
What's up, Doom Nation? Welcome back. Welcome back to the last episode of the year. You are listening to the Two Doom Men podcast. And as always, it's your host, Skaggs and Captain. How are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm about to crack open a beer. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes,
you got
a bourbon and a Grey Goose glass. So cheers.
Oh, man. The way that just looked on the camera, it looked like your glass was broken.
Oh yeah, it does. I see that now.
Yeah, like a dunce at our
cheers,
secret, like a dunce at our Secret Santa party that we had last week. I smashed my my Skaggs whiskey glass. I'm so upset. I literally just put it in the sink. It was so cold outside at this party. It was like 8 degrees, and we're out there drinking like savages. It was so cold that when I went back in the house to go rinse out my whiskey glass, I just put it
the warm water.
The warm water, and I put it down in the sink, and it just shattered into pieces.
We lost like an entire case of beer because all the cans just kept exploding.
They just exploded. Yeah,
even
and
the
then
bottles, all the bottles turned into slushies.
The glass bottles out on the porch, they exploded. Normally, glass bottle beer don't explode. I keep them out here in the shack in the back. And if you don't know the shack in the back, it gets cold out here in the wintertime. I don't heat it every single day. Like cans of beer explode easily when it's cold out. But the bottle beers, like I'm drinking one right now, these don't blow up. You know, normally it has to be really fucking cold to explode. So little science for you there, Doom Nation. Under 10 degrees, glass bottles explode.
Yeah. And you know what was kept nice and chilled? Bourbon.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Liquor.
Outside bourbon.
Liquor drinks. They always do the trick. So we got
all right. So
yeah, this is a crazy night.
Usually we probably just talk about what the year gave us and the year in review, yada yada yada, but there's just too much going on, so we're just going to keep trucking on right into the new year because just each week it's more and more explosive.
It is
Twitter files, Andrew Tate, censorship. Let's get into it, man.
The gift that keeps on giving. Real quick, I want to thank Alan from the Great Divide podcast and the CEO of My Patriot Cigars. I bought a couple more cigars for myself the other day, and he actually included, free of charge because he's such a nice guy, a couple dope My Patriot cigar snapback hats. He gave us 2, so Captain, I'm nice enough, I like you enough, I'll give you the second one. So shout out to Alan. Go check out mypatriotcigars.com, and if you want to buy some, we do have a promo code that will get you 15% off. It is Doomed. Go check that out. Good guy, good product, support like normal people doing stuff. It's good. I like it.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. So let's so this is interesting. Let's start with a tweet of the week. And that will lead into our first story, which this ramped up before we even started recording today. Things got a little
now it's a bit out of control.
Yeah. This is a 2-parter tweet of the week. I'm going to start with the first part, and this is by Andrew Tate, and he goes, "Hello, Greta Thunberg. I have 33 cars. My Bugatti has a 16 8-ounce quad turbo. My 2 Ferrari 812 Competizione have 6.5-liter V12s. This is just the start. Please provide your email address so I could send the complete list of my car collection and their respective enormous emissions." To which Greta Thunberg...
Now, hold on. Did he just out of the blue, tweet this to her?
I guess so, yeah.
Because this is the one part of this story that I don't get how it started.
It's just a tweet at her. He just tweeted at her.
So he just picked a fight with her.
I don't know. So to which Greta Thunberg, she replies, "Yes, please do enlighten me. Email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com. Now, I thought this was actually a pretty fucking funny response.
Yes.
I had a pretty good laugh at it. The reaction was lame from everybody on Twitter, especially in the right, the conservative movement. There was a lack of humor. I thought this was fucking funny. I don't know about you, Cap. Right. Obviously Greta Thunberg is not someone really on our side, but it was fucking funny. Laugh Have a good time. Shit, enjoy yourself. We're supposed to be having fun.
Yeah, this is the side of Andrew Tate that I never liked, because like he'll get into an argument with someone and like he thinks like the way to win an argument is be like, all right, well, tell me what color your Bugatti is because I have two of them. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like it's
I
cool.
have more stuff than you, bro. Like
Yeah.
I have more money than you, bro. Yeah, it's not a good way to win an argument.
Which I like the guy's, message of, taking, responsibility in your own hands, breaking away from the matrix, making your own money, be ungovernable. But like this, if he literally just was like, woke up on a Wednesday morning, was like, hey, Greta, guess what? It's your turn. You know what I mean? Like ridiculous.
Yeah, it is random. Hey, I don't know. I guess he's trolling. I troll people too sometimes. I just thought, like the reaction was so cringe from like Matt Walsh and other conservative commentators on here.
Everybody's reaction, because then on the other side, you have like Brooklyn Dad at like Small Dick Energy's the greatest response I've ever heard. Oh, getalife.com. It's like,
it was just funny. Like it's not the end of the world.
No,
and it's not the funniest joke of all time. I think, man, sometimes people get so tribal on Twitter and just in general. It's like if a leftist like Greta, like normally the left can't meme. That's the thing. There's pages dedicated to that normally. But once in a while, they have a little sense of humor. I don't know if she actually wrote this or not. I read a little bit that it might be her dad that uses her account. Might have been him that wrote this. But, man, you just call it as it is. It's a funny fucking joke.
Yes.
Go outside and put your feet in the grass and enjoy life a little bit. Shit.
This tweet and the response did not her response to this tweet did not equate to like trending on Twitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
This wasn't up there, but yes, this brought into a whole new set of things as they went back and forth, and now Andrew Tate's been arrested.
Yeah, I mean, what's going on here? This will get in the meat and potatoes of it. So, Andrew Tate has been arrested in Romania on sex trafficking allegations, reports. And an update came in about half an hour ago and says Romanian prosecutors have detained Andrew Tate on suspicion of human trafficking, rape, and forming an organized crime group. The suspects appear to have created an organized crime group with the purpose of recruiting, housing, and exploiting women by forcing them to create pornographic content meant to be seen on specialized websites for a cost, prosecutors said. I don't know, Cap. What's your thoughts on this, man? This is your guy. You kind of like him. I don't really know that much about him.
I have a little coming in hot on this. Now, first and foremost, I've said this about Trump in the past. I've said this about anybody in the spotlight that I like. If they are truly found guilty of something, take them away. My life ain't going to change. They don't know who I am. You know what I mean? Nothing in my life is going to change. With Trump, it might be a little bit different because there's been so many fake allegations put out against him. Mm-hmm. But if there was, the smoking gun video of Trump doing some god awful thing and he's dead to rights guilty, ship him on down the river. I don't care. That being said, Andrew Tate's a cool guy. He does have his inspirational side, his entrepreneurial side to him, where he's trying to show others to make money and break away from the matrix. And I think something me and you can agree on, breaking away from the matrix is a very important thing to do. There is this society, we're going to get into it later. You're constantly talking about psyops. We've been talking about it all week. There is some form of a matrix that he promotes breaking away from. So I can get behind that message.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, he's pointing it out. That's one of the things, especially now with this most recent thing occurring. Videos I've seen of him on podcasts, him just talking in general. And he does point. He's opposed to the regime. you know, so that's good.
Yes.
Obviously,
Yes.
I again have not seen a lot of the other
Well,
stuff.
see,
of his.
it's that, and then the outside other side of that is just like flexing in, Bugattis and going to nightclubs in Dubai and being on a
Yeah,
yacht and
I
shit
don't
like
I
that.
don't like that because that's kind of like insta thought behavior, but for dudes.
Yes.
And I'm against
Yeah.
that sort of shit because I just don't
So
think it's
that's the
positive.
other side of them.
Yeah.
So, the guy's never lied about not being a criminal. He's never lied about, being involved with, bad people. He's at the end of the day, whether he's inspirational or not, the end of the day, I'm like 99% sure he's Romanian mafia. So, the mafia, any mafia around the world, I don't think sex trafficking is really beneath them. They're
Sure.
a crime organization. Sex trafficking is a bit of a stretch of an allegation. That's a bit weird of one. I'll get into that a little bit. But the other two, rape and forming a criminal organization, I 100% buy that. 110% buy that. Definitely the criminal organization part, unless it becomes, he's starting some, right-wing extremist group, then we're going to get into the conspiracy side. But I got to tell you, I have no problem coming back on this in 2 weeks and saying I was wrong. I think this is a story we need to let unfold like everything else. That's something we've learned throughout time doing this. Let these stories unfold. But I got to say, I think he's being set up. I think he's innocent. I have no problem saying I'm wrong if I am proven wrong. But just the reaction to everything in the past few days, this little spat with Greta, a climate activist, climate change is the next big, pandemic emergency, whatever you want to call it. He really gets ramped up in the limelight. And now all of a sudden he's arrested for human trafficking, something the right has been saying the left's been doing.
Sure.
So now we got
It's
a right winger. Yes, it's interesting. But the guy is also a lightning rod. He's anti-establishment. He says things that the establishment does not like. They've tried canceling him before. They've tried fucking with his money. They've tried numerous things to get this guy off the internet, to silence this man, and they can't. And just like Snowden, just like Trump, just like DeSantis, look at how all these people who go against the grain, who are anti-establishment, who just fight this woke new world order, they all get accused of 1,000,001 things. And so this arrest happened today, and I didn't really think much of it. And I had a busy day. I got home. I continued being busy. And then when I finally sat down before we started recording, I saw the complete wall-to-wall coverage on all social media platforms. Toxic influencer. Right away, he's the worst guy in the world. Bad guy number one. All the liberal shit libs on TikTok, Twitter are screaming from the rooftops.
They've been handed their memo of what to say.
They're all in unison. The media, social media, the shit libs on Twitter are all in unison over this happening. And every time they're all in unison over something,
I was gonna say, well, that's not a good sign, right? That's not.
They're wrong. And I'm not even coming up with some conspiracy theory. Not like the past 4 or 5 weeks of our life, half of every conspiracy theory we've ever talked about has come true. Mm-hmm. Okay, that we were right from the start. So I don't even think I'm really putting a conspiracy theory out there. I think, like I said, if he's guilty, send him away.
He's also just one person too. Like,
yes,
he's not the president of the world or the king of the world or something. I mean, he has influence, definitely. He's an influencer, and we kind of, from some of the stuff I've seen, I do agree with some of the influencing he has done, speaking out against the regime. I find it curious that I haven't really researched him that much to go look for like the bad stuff that he said, but I haven't easily or readily found the bad things he said that make him so bad. I mean, like, I don't like the bling bling type thing, but that's not necessarily like, bad.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
even our buddy Brian, called him like a human piece of filth or something
Well,
like that. Now,
I think there's a video of him like beating the shit out of one of his ex-girlfriends.
I don't know this or haven't
but
seen
I'm
it.
not 100% sure either. Because at the end of the day, like the guy's not my hero. I really think the guy has the ability to become an icon for men, in a time where men need some
Yes.
and I'm not even talking like think of like Ric Flair back in the 80s. You know what I mean? Like limousine, long hair, muscles, you know what I mean? Like people aspired to
A
be
masculine
like
influence.
Yes. Yeah. And I think we're in a time where we kind of need that. And he has the ability to be one of those people. But I also, at the same time, when I see him and see the following he has, cult leader, drink the Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? Like I could easily see that too.
So to provide a little bit of context of what I do know about this situation he's in, this is now like the second time he's been arrested for like human trafficking allegations. The first time I saw he was on Tucker after to explain himself, and he said that he got swatted, that someone, obviously, people know what swatting is, that they swatted him, saying that he had two women like basically imprisoned in his home. So SWAT team comes in, they search the house, didn't find anything. They bring him into the station. He signs a whole bunch of papers, etc. He gets away. So now this is the second time that the kind of same, thing is occurring here, or allegation is occurring. This time seems to be a little bit more serious, perhaps, although we are going to let it play out. I saw a lot of videos. He's been doing a lot of podcasts. He's been making the rounds, talking, right, and talking out against the regime, talking about his situation and himself. And here's what I find interesting is he was talking about how the attempt to cancel him was an all-out press and they failed, right? And he goes, and it's because I speak out against the regime, I speak out against like the powers that be, etc. He goes, the second thing they're going to try and do is arrest me, because that's when you can't cancel somebody. Next, you have to resort to arresting them. And he goes, and if that doesn't work, which it probably won't, he goes, the third thing they're going to try and do is just whack you and just kill you, and he's like, I just want to say, I'm not feeling suicidal or anything like that. I'm not going to kill myself, etc. So that being said, is it possible that he could be saying those things, knowing people like me and you are skeptical of that sort of behavior from the powers that be? And Andrew Tate knows he did do something wrong. So he's trying to get the court of public opinion on his side before the arrest comes down, because he knows he's in trouble, or something. Like he's trying to trick everybody into using like the John McAfee, Jeffrey Epstein sort of things, because we understand like there are evil people out there, and they do look to crush anyone who is opposed to the
people
regime.
Who want to kill Elon Musk. Elon Musk even said, I'm not suicidal.
So when do bad guys start co-opting that to get public opinion on their side? So do you think that that's a possibility?
I think both ways are possible. I completely think both ways. I completely believe that he is smart enough to know that his days are numbered, and he got to where he is because he's playing a different game than everybody else. Just because he's flamboyant with bling and cars and shit doesn't mean he's stupid. You know what I mean? You start acting like that and people underestimate you. Sure. You know what I mean? Like just, Trump would yell and they would underestimate him. You don't underestimate your enemies. It's, rule number one. And so I completely believe that he'd be smart enough to start doing that to cover for his ass. Because like I said, he is mafia. I fully believe he is trying to create a criminal organization. That charge, I could 100% see him going away to prison for. No questions asked.
Yeah.
Human trafficking, hey, if there's proof, there's proof. If there isn't,
what does that charge mean exactly? Yeah.
I have no idea. Sure. No idea.
Yeah. So
but
I go ahead.
I also believe that, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but to finish my thought, I also truly believe that he knows how this game is played. He knows there's, the powers that be, that work behind the curtain, and he's calling it out that they're going to try and arrest. You know what I'm saying? Like the same way Elon Musk is Elon Musk trying to get public court opinion, behind him by saying I'm not suicidal, and all he's doing is releasing emails that were, what I'm saying, and he has proof behind it. So he one guy has proof, the other guy we have no proof. Both said they're not suicidal.
Right. So I think another interesting aspect of this, I was having this thought before, is like the I'm not suicidal thing is kind of like the Salem witch trials in reverse in a way. And what I mean by that is like back at the Salem witch trials, like if you were a witch, they would like throw you in a lake, and see if you didn't drown, you weren't a witch.
Burn up,
or if you didn't burn, you weren't a witch, and if you did, you were. I'm sorry, if you did drown, you weren't a witch, and if you didn't, you were a witch. This is kind of the opposite, where like they're saying, "Hey, I'm not a witch," and the only way we're going to know that they're not a witch or not is if they get killed. Like, so if he does get killed, if he does end up dead, we're going to be like, "Oh shit, he was telling the truth this whole time, and they were really trying to get him." Same thing, like McAfee or something like that. So it's kind of like the Salem witch trials in a way, except
it's funny you say
that we're not going to kill the person. It's like we're waiting to see if they're proven to be a witch or not by the state or whoever the they.
It's funny you said that, because I was talking to somebody today about politics, and he's like, history is going to provide truth as long as history doesn't get suppressed, which it has before. And he said, when you're in the picture, you can't see the frame. He goes, right now we're in the picture, because I was talking to him about the COVID files, and he's like, history will tell this was like the most diabolical time in human history.
I think so. Yeah, I agree with that, definitely.
And he brought up, he was like, it's like the being woke is like part of the Salem witch trials. If you're not woke, you must be a witch.
Yeah, it really kind of is. That's funny that somebody else brought that up too. One little cap on this whole thing with Andrew Tate is, it's funny how they are going after him for human trafficking, but what about the Epstein client list? That's the point a lot of people are making right now on Twitter. It's like, that hasn't been made public. No one, they've not gone after anybody else on the list, which we know that there is proven human trafficking in that scenario, but that hasn't been gone after. But no, Andrew Tate has been gone after.
Wouldn't it?
It's a whataboutism, but it's a valid whataboutism, I think.
I would. So the main goal of this story is to let it unfold. Right now, we are speculating and giving our opinion and educating Doom Nation, if you could call this education. But wouldn't it be funny if in like a week we find out that like the FBI has been working with the Romanian government to take down human trafficking? You know what I'm saying?
I think that the U.S. authorities are somewhat involved in this arrest too. So I'm not 100%. I could be wrong, but
listen, let's not even say anything wrong. Let's let that unfold, because I'm telling you, if the FBI is involved, this guy's innocent as me and you.
Maybe we will see. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep a bookmark on this scenario, and we'll move on here to the next topic. I guess if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm sorry to just choose what the next topic is, but I came in hot on Andrew Tate. This one irritated the fuck out of me. I spoke to you about this earlier. If you follow us on Instagram, we post stories every day about topics and just things we find bizarre or funny. And Skaggs posted 2 almost back-to-back posts, I think day apart from each other, that wanting large, heavy Black women to lose weight and be healthy is a form of racism, and how the physical fitness community has historically been a racist community. Am I correct in those 2 stories?
Yeah. Let me lay them out here too, just to tell you guys what I saw. So I saw a day ago, Scientific American, they tweeted here, if you can see it on the screen. They tweeted and they wrote an article, and they said, the heightened concern about Black women's weight reflects the racist stigmatization of their bodies. It also ignores how interrelated social factors impact Black women's health. That was yesterday. And now today, I saw Time Magazine shared an article where they wrote the white supremacist origins of exercise and 6 other surprising facts about the history of U.S. physical fitness. I'll let you go on your rant,
Yes.
but this is not
I know.
the first time I have seen these things. I
Yes.
post them on the Instagram all the time. It's a running joke of my own to myself where I'm like, this thing, racist,
Is now
that
racist.
thing,
Yeah.
racist. And it's not the first time that health and exercise has been targeted as a racist activity, but good.
So I know where you want to take this, and I'm fully prepared for it. So just a little captain's rant here. We need to start, and it's a ridiculous thing to say because racism is an actual problem. There is violence involved and people get hurt. But the way the mainstream media, like Time Magazine, uses racism, we need to start taking away the power of that word. They've used it so much, there is no meaning to it anymore. I'm sorry if I want women and men and whatever other agenda you might believe you are to be healthy people. I am sorry that a healthy thing to do is exercise. I've been exercising and working out since I was a sophomore in high school. I must have been 14. I'm 34 now. We're talking about working out for 2 decades straight. I believe it has made me a healthier person. I believe it's made me a better person.
So you mean tell me you weren't doing it because you're a racist?
Exactly. But you know what? I'm at the point where every week there's a new article of if you're X, Y, and Z, you're racist. And then it comes into these articles like, if you want people to be healthy, you're racist. Then you know what? I think it's time to start saying we're racist. I guess I'm a racist because I'd rather be a racist than watch you live an unhealthy lifestyle, go up to 600 pounds, be on, diabetes, dialysis, need insulin shots. Then you got to get on the insulin train. Oh, Medicare for all. The insulin needs to drop. We're going to get the most bullshit generic version, but it's the cheapest one. Thank you, Biden. I don't want people to live like that. The opposite side of this is working out is hard. Being healthy is not always fun. Eating healthy is not as fun and as good as eating chicken wings. But you got to do it a little bit. You got to do it. You can't live an unhealthy life. And it's no surprise to me that the corporate press and the corporate media and the establishment wants you fat, sick, lazy, and slow. They don't want you to bench your body weight. They don't want you to do pull-ups because when they come knocking at your door, the fat guy who's huffing and puffing getting off his sofa is going to be way easier to take down than the dude who does 100 push-ups the first 5 minutes he wakes up in the morning.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean,
that's my rant. I think we have to take power away from this word.
I think they've taken the power away.
Wanting somebody to be healthy is racist, then I'm racist.
I do. I think they've already taken the power away from the word. It doesn't mean what it used to anymore, at least to most of us, because it's been so flippantly thrown around. It doesn't resonate like it used to. I mean, let's be real. We were kind of saying this before this afternoon. We're like, I mean, these articles are so stupid. There's like most people are going to read them and be like, that's ridiculous. Obviously, that's not the fucking case. Like you're saying, the low hanging fruit, right? Like obviously anybody could see that and be like, this is ridiculous. Right now, again, this is not the first time I've seen this. I've seen this many, many times. This is always happening. These articles, trying to link some hard positive thing to do to racism. Now, my question and what I really want to dig into here, or poke at, is
get right into
why. Right? Why is that happening? Why are these articles coming out? Why are they writing them? Why are they trying to link being in good standing health and good shape to racism? Because it's a psyop, right? Like you kind of touched on before. They want you to be unhealthy. They want you to be in a bad frame of mind. They want you to be slow, sluggish. They want you to feel bad. They want you to be dependent on the government, right? For everything, for your well-being. They want you to be dependent on pharmaceutical products, right? Because you're fat and you're unhealthy and you're depressed and you're this and you're that. What's the answer? Take a pill. How many people do you know, Cap? I'm sure you know older people that are on fucking dozens and dozens of pills just to like exist. You know, like I don't know. I think that's all by design. It's a lot of it's a lot of different parts. It's the state, it's the pharmaceutical industry, it's the corporate press, it's the machine. They're always in lockstep, they're in sync, and it's everywhere. It's like that meme I sent you. It's like what normal people see, and it's Times Square, and it's all these billboards and advertisements, Coca-Cola,
Kodak, M&M's,
Kodak, all these things, and then it's like what I see, and it's just billboard signs like obey, consume, don't question, conform. That is what it is, man. And once you've been red pilled, you can see, like, why do I even see these articles? It's because I see that, right? I see obey, consume, conform, do this, do that. It's just, they're not impressive either. Like, that's so obviously just wrong and dumb that I hope they keep writing articles like that, because the more they do, the higher chance that people are red pilled and you know, buy something like that. But that's what it is. It's another version of the psyop. The psyop doesn't just like exist only on Twitter and bot accounts
or
and
politics
things like that.
and shit.
It's fucking everywhere. And maybe we sound crazy, maybe I sound crazy for saying that, but it's literally everywhere. It's in Time Magazine, it's in the Washington Post, it's on, you know, the fucking, it's on a church in the as a Ukraine flag where you're driving around. Like, it's literally everywhere. Once you've been red pilled, you see it everywhere and you understand what's going on. But that's what it is. They're trying to condition you to think a certain way. And what is the goal of that? It's to just control you. It's to keep you in your place. It's to and like I said, I'm like, where does this all always point back to? I'm like, it's the World Economic Forum and their agenda of like globalism,
how things should be, depopulation. Like, obviously there's going to be some depopulation if the fucking population of the earth is very unhealthy, and dying, right? So, you know what I think we need to I think me and you need to watch and comment on is WALL-E. Truthfully, I think if we watch that now as adults, we weren't too young when that came out, but I remember that movie pretty well. I actually really enjoyed WALL-E. I think that was one of the better Pixar movies. And the thing that forever stands out in my mind is the earth had to be abandoned because we consumed so much, we created so much garbage that we had to leave the planet and send robots to clean up the planet, right? So we actually did contribute to global climate change and all that shit, made it unlivable. But the people, if you go back and you watch the people, every single person's a fat slob. They all roll around on their little hovercrafts. They all are completely connected to the internet. They're all completely connected to their TVs. They get to eat whatever they want. You know, I want a chocolate milkshake. Now I want 2 cheeseburgers. Boom, boom, boom. It all pops up. They couldn't even, and so remember when the ship was crashing, the captain was so fat that he had trouble getting out of his chair to actually physically steer the ship. That's what they want. That's the end result of all of this.
I agree. 100%.
You know what I mean?
Look, and look at it this way too. Like, even if, let's say we are crazy, I'm wrong, which you're not, but let's say that we were, what's the worst thing that we're advocating here for you to do? Be healthy and like
be strong.
do stuff, be strong, be independent. These things are good for you. They always have been for humans throughout all of human history. It's just now, like, and this has always been the norm of human history, like to be in good shape and work out. And, you know, before we had like the luxuries of modern society, you had to hunt, you know, like, unlike people say on Twitter, the deer do not just jump into the fucking, you know, the fire pit and cook themselves. Like, it's hard to survive. It's just now they're trying to normalize like weakness and not. And that's why also masculinity and things have been demonized and whatnot.
That's why they hate somebody like Andrew Tate. That's why they hate somebody like Andrew Tate.
They're trying to make the frogs gay.
Oh shit, what was I about to say? I feel like, you know, so we always go back to this point. Good times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times.
Hard times create strong men.
Right.
Cycle. It's an
Yes.
endless cycle called the fourth.
It's an
turning.
endless cycle. I feel like, though, now things are so advanced that weak men have not only created hard times, they are controlling hard times. Hard times used to be changed by strong men, but now hard times is being manipulated and controlled by weak men to continue promoting weak men.
Sure.
So the next
Technology
cycle
has
will be
given them a
even
way.
weaker men and harder times.
Right. Technology has given them a way to break the cycle in
Yes.
the negative.
Because Mike Tyson, you can't get punched in the mouth, when you're fighting somebody online. You know what I'm saying? So now technology has given weak men the weapon to manipulate the idea of that we're not in hard times and that we don't need strong men. And then you look at somebody, let's take somebody who we both agree, Ron DeSantis, strong man trying to make good times, demonized constantly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the weak men have figured out a way to manipulate the hard times.
Yeah, they're psyoping everybody into worse times. I think there's something to that, definitely. Think of The Walking Dead. That was my favorite analogy. If The Walking Dead happened tomorrow, who's making it? The guys who can run a mile and do 50 push-ups and 50 pull-ups, or the guy who's been working in his bedroom for the past 3 years, right, eating Domino's pizza 4 nights a week? Who's making it down the street and away from the zombies? Yeah, I agree. I think it's all interrelated. It's part of the reason why they want to stomp that out. I think it's also part of the reason why they don't like freedom and liberty and freedom of speech, right? Because what are strong men doing right now? They're
loud.
Taking they're using their First Amendment right of freedom of speech, and they're speaking out. Andrew Tate's doing it in his own way. We're doing it in our own way. Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, whoever, right? And women too, of course. Strong women are also speaking out, against stupid shit like this. There's plenty of them. I'll have one of them later. I have a tweet of the week from. That's why they don't like liberty and freedom, right? Because, oh no, this is a way that the strong people could get around our stupid shit, our psyop, right? If they start, talking and spreading better ideas and whatnot to people are going to realize, oh my God, this is fucked. So that's why they want to censor everybody. That's why there's the full court press on all the media everywhere.
Connected.
Yeah.
That's why I went out on the limb for Andrew Tate. And I said, listen, all the blue check marked shit libs on Twitter, everyone on social media and everyone on mainstream media is in unison cheering that this toxic masculine influencer is going to jail.
Yeah.
It's hard to. People are happy about this,
right? It's hard. Yeah, my bullshit meter just goes off immediately. Now that doesn't mean that, right? Me and you, we're beyond the tribalism, so we're not, we're able to be all right, maybe this guy is fucked up. It's possible, definitely. A lot of people aren't, man. That's what comes with being red pilled too. It's being able to realize, hey, this guy is not popular with the bots. That's a red flag, but that doesn't also mean that he's a good guy or he can't be trying to mislead people either. That's what it's like to really be fucking woke, before the woke people fucking, co-opted the term.
To be actually awake.
Some healthy skepticism of everything is good for everybody. All right, let's move on to, we got 2 Twitter files that we're going to keep covering that came out. I think maybe we should start.
I don't even remember the last one too much.
Yeah, there's been a lot, man. There's been a lot. It's getting easy now to overlook one because there's so many, and this will point me back to, it's better that they're releasing them slow and in this method, because if they would just release everything, we would have moved on weeks ago to something else. We wouldn't have covered any of this stuff. So there's there's one by Matt Taibbi. about Twitter and other government agencies and
Yes.
Ukraine stuff. And then there's the COVID one, which I know you tweeted me in the middle of the night while I was sleeping texted me while I was sleeping.
Yeah.
Saying it was, it was shocking.
I don't understand how. Yeah.
Which one do you want to start with? Taibbi
Let's do other government agencies. It's starting to come back to me. I got plenty of hot button for the COVID.
I'm not going to read this whole thing. It's a very long one.
Yeah,
I will
both
just
of
read
them are.
the preamble of what Taibbi says here. So it's the Twitter files, Twitter and other government agencies. After weeks of Twitter files reports detailing close coordination between the FBI and Twitter in moderating social media content, the Bureau, meaning the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, issued a statement Wednesday. Okay, good. This just reminded me that the FBI has commented now on the Twitter files, to which they said, the men and women of the FBI work every day to protect the American public. It is unfortunate that conspiracy theorists and others are feeding the American public misinformation with the sole purpose of attempting to discredit the agency.
We could have an entire episode just on that statement alone.
Probably could.
Do better, FBI. Do fucking better. You're the FBI. The best you could do is, these conspiracy theories are just conspiracy theories. Oh boy, did it take a whole team of knuckleheads to come up with that?
Yeah, like it's like what you say, like at least like try to lie to me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Get creative.
That is so unimpressive. Their answer to all this. I mean, look, their answer to that all the conspiracy theories were true is to say that we're conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
That's the least impressive response I could have seen to this. I think I could have thought of.
Yeah.
Right? They could have came out and been like, these revelations are concerning to the heads of the Bureau, and we're going to do an internal investigation to see, what's been going on, if there's been any misconduct in the Bureau, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. Why? Because the Bureau cares about your constitutional, rights or something. Like they could have said something like that. Now, would they have meant that? No. Right. But like you normally say, like, just try to lie to me at least. Give it a shot. They can't even do that. So that's fucking absolutely pathetic, obviously. Now, this is a long Twitter file where Matt gets more into, I'm not going to read every single tweet like I normally do because there's too many, but Matt Taibbi gets into a lot of the conversations and what was going on. He points out that the Bureau was like, they were 100% familiarized with Twitter's policies, and they were just scouring Twitter for any random account that was violating policies. And like, they were overwhelming the Twitter staff with requests to moderate and censorship, to the point where a lot of the staff, including even Jim Baker, right, is on record like, are they like scouring the site like with the policy and procedure like pulled up and like looking? Like even Jim Baker was like, man, like they're really going like extra on this. So I mean, they were going hard on making sure that they stomped out any dissent of anything that they just didn't like, to the point where, like I said, even the Twitter staff were like shocked. I mean, they did it, and they were patsies in this whole thing, but they were like, wow, this is a lot. So this gets into also how the CIA, the charter of the CIA, they're not allowed to operate domestically. They're supposed to be a foreign intelligence gathering operation. They're not supposed to be working within the confines of the United States, nor, especially not on American citizens or anything like that. And Taibbi covers how a way that they get around this is they just use the FBI.
Yeah.
Right. They're all agencies of the federal government kind of working together. Historically, they've always kind of like, hey, we need you to look into this. Hey, we need you to look into that.
And it's not like people didn't leave the CIA and get jobs at Facebook, Google, YouTube,
right,
Twitter.
Right. So what Taibbi's talking about here, other government agencies, it can be a euphemism for the CIA, according to multiple former intelligence officers and contractors. Chuckles one, they think it's mysterious, but it's just conspicuous. other government agencies. That's the place where I worked for 27 years, says retired CIA agent Ray McGovern. It is an open secret at Twitter that one of its executives was ex-CIA, which is why Chan, one of the people earlier in this tweet thread, referred to that executive's former employer. The first Twitter executive abandoned any pretense to stealth and email that the employees used to work for the CIA. So that is Elvis's question. Elvis is the FBI agent, I believe, in San Francisco, who was kind of also pressuring Twitter to do a lot of this stuff. Elvis Chan, I think his name is. That was a tweet it was a good tweet by Elon where he says Elvis has entered the building or something like that. I don't know if you want to give your thoughts, Cap, on this a little bit while I go look down the
just
line
at the
for
end
some
of the day, the
Ukraine stuff.
CIA is never the good guy. There's a level of why. I understand why the FBI is involved in this. Why is the CIA involved in this? They're not even supposed to be doing anything domestically.
Right.
Who
it's literally against their charter.
Yeah. Who at the end of the day is sanctioning the FBI to just sit around and monitor Twitter 24/7, monitor YouTube, Instagram, every social media platform? Why? What is the plans behind this? If you're supposed to be protecting us day and day, this doesn't feel like protection. Control is not protection. Stopping that missile from making landfall is protection.
And I can guarantee that there are still good people working at these agencies that do believe in, like, hey, I'm here to stop that missile, or hey, I'm here to
Team Q
put away that human trafficker. That's what, like, the FBI should be going after for real. But I'd say majority of the organizations are corrupt and it's unsalvageable at this point. Why? The why, you ask, man. Power is corrupting, right? And they're now essentially the real government of the United States. They are the deep state. It's the agencies. They are the deep state. It's not your little fucking horse and pony show going on in Congress and the president. Those people are all puppets. They're sheep. These are the people that really are controlling things behind the scenes. And unaccountable, unelected bureaucracy is what really runs this country. And if you talk too much against it, they'll blow your fucking brains out like they did to JFK. Or maybe that's too over the top now. So they'll bring investigations against you for fucking your entire career. They'll cancel you. They'll psyop you. They'll arrest you. Whatever. They'll use any means necessary. And if you really are too much of a thorn in their side and every other method fails, man, you know what they're going to do? They got the guns. They're just going to use the guns. They're going to show up and use the guns on you. And they still got that in their back pocket. And that ultimately leads back to why it is so goddamn important that we have guns, right? Because that is all they are, is fucking leverage. And we might have the largest deep state, government here in the history of the world. The United States government's the largest in the history of the world. But God damn it, we have the largest standing free militia in the world as well. So it's worth saying something to that. It's an ultimate check against it. What were we going to say before I get on to the next part of this here?
Jeez.
It's a lot. Yeah. A lot to chew.
I know. It's just, this is taxing. No, you know what? The idea has lost me. I've lost it. If it comes back, I'll let you know.
Sure. So I found the part of this I wanted to talk about. Point number 45 from Matt Taibbi. This is where we get into Ukraine. And this is some
oh, wait, hold on. I just remembered my point before. About, you're saying unelected bureaucrats in the CIA, the people who pull the strings, the people who run the show, the government of the government, that they just could get away with anything.
What was the quote of the guy that gave Tucker the information that
it's all fake.
It's all fake.
Yeah.
It's not the country you thought it was, or something like that. Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, sorry. So we talk about, abolish the FBI, abolish the CIA. Like, the CIA is so powerful. And we've briefly talked about this several times before. Like, how do you even abolish the CIA? So you just abolish the building that's here in America, but do all the black sites around
Right.
the world, in all the little towns and in the little countries that have some underground base that we can't even find on a map, some little village, in Ukraine that we've never even heard of that has some military base. How do we know that the CIA is they could just say they're abolished on paper and never go
Right.
anywhere,
No, that's
not
100%.
miss a beat. Nothing changes for anyone.
Sure. I mean, they could turn into like a version of Al Qaeda, right? Like,
Yeah,
they're just their own entity and they're rogue.
the Men
and they
in
do
Black.
whatever, right? Something
Yeah.
like that. I think abolishment not only means obviously defunding the magical scenario where a libertarian president takes power and literally with the stroke of a pen closes the agencies. Never going to happen because you probably get killed. But I think abolishment also means cultural. We need to convince people that we don't need these fucking agencies.
Yeah.
Culturally,
I think
we don't need federal police. We don't need federal intelligence fucking bureaus. There's police everywhere already. They'll handle the fucking crimes. They'll do the investigations. You don't need the SS. You don't need the Gestapo. You don't need the Stasi. We don't need any of that shit. We'll be all right with just Sheriff Bob and fucking Officer J Play down the NYPD. Like, we're gonna be all right.
And the funny thing is, who the woke mob is so in favor of the FBI. They're doing their job. You're just cheering on the Gestapo.
Right, because they've been psyoped. They're supposed to be the ones that are opposed to that, but they've been psyoped into supporting. That's all part of the game. Let's go on to the Ukraine thing, because I find this very interesting. From Tate, point number 45. Many people wonder if internet platforms receive direction from intelligence agencies about moderation of foreign policy news stories. It appears Twitter did, some cases by the way of the FITF/FBI. These reports are far more factually controversial than domestic counterparts. One intel report lists accounts tied to Ukraine neo-Nazi propaganda. This includes assertions that Joe Biden helped orchestrate the coup in 2014 and put his son on the board of Burisma. What does that mean? It means that those were being marked as propaganda. The fact that Joe Biden put his son on the board of Burisma, that's provable fact.
Isn't it funny how continuously the FBI protects Hunter Biden?
Yeah, it is. The coup in 2014. I mean, yes, there was a coup in Ukraine in 2014. This war did not just start in February of 2021. This has been ongoing for a long time. I'm not going to get into all that, but the situation in Ukraine started in 2014, and it was a coup, essentially a Western-led coup. What is a coup? Overthrowing the government and installing a new government in power that's more on your side. That's why Russia is angry and is going in there to break shit. Another report asserts a list of accounts accusing the Biden administration of corruption in vaccine distribution are part of a Russian influence campaign. Often intelligence came in the form of brief reports followed by long lists of accounts simply deemed to be pro-Maduro, pro-Cuba, pro-Russia, etc. This batch had over 1,000 accounts marked for digital execution. So again, the FBI and the intelligence agencies, they're literally making lists and checking them twice, like Santa. Like, I mean, throughout history, any side that's making lists, by the way, is never the good side. They're never the good guys, ever. The side that's making lists.
I think we'll get a little bit more into this on the next Twitter files with the COVID.
Yeah.
It's just, how do I want to, imagine there is some Twitter, the employees of Twitter are guilty, but there are some good people in Twitter. Because can you imagine what it really would have been like if the FBI and the government and the administration just truly got their way? Like, at some point the meetings were like, well, why don't you just let the FBI completely take control of this and make their own decisions? You know what I mean? Like, and even though Yoel Roth was, left leaning and he did things politically biased. Like there was some pushback. There was a little
From even
bit of
him.
push.
They
Yeah.
pushed so hard that even he was like questioning.
Yes. So could you imagine how bad it would have gotten if the FBI had full control from the jump?
Mm-hmm. So yes, you're right, but this is new age fascism here, right? That doesn't work anymore. Outright being the controller, outright being there with the.
Well, yeah, they
I've
use
said this
Twitter
many
as the
times.
patsy.
Right. You can't do that, right? Because we're constantly reminded the story of the guys with the red armbands and the propaganda and Goebbels and Goring and
now they
Hitler
have
and all these
blue
guys,
check
right?
marks.
Right now, basically the same thing's going on now, but they're trying to sell themselves as the good
Yeah.
guys, and it's a private company. It's separate. Like if they were to just completely take over and orchestrate every single tiny thing, the facade falls away, right? And then you'll probably get popular uprising and whatnot. It's more effective of a psyop. It's more effective to do it this way than to mark yourself with the red armband and give the crazy speeches in front of everybody. You know what I mean? Like this is better. They've learned. What do you always say?
They played the long game.
They played the long game. They fell back. They waited. They learned, and now they're back in a different fashion.
It's funny that they said pro Cuba because remember at that time there was the riots in Cuba, and everybody was like, "Well, why don't we support Cuba?" And obviously, well, Cuba is communistic, and these people would never vote for this communistic left-wing agenda. So we're gonna let them rot.
Yeah, they're some of the most radical anti-commies, the Cubans, especially like South Florida. So point number 53, often intel reports are just long lists of newspapers, tweets, or YouTube videos. I'm sure some of ours probably showed up on one of those.
100%.
Guilty of anti-Ukraine narratives. Sometimes, not always, Twitter and YouTube block the accounts, but now we know for sure what Roth meant by the Bureau and by the extension, the IC, the intelligence community. So there you have it. The intelligence community is putting together lists, pressuring, pressuring social media companies to censor any anti-Ukraine narrative. I mean, look.
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
Repeat what you just said, what the FBI was doing.
Which part?
What you just said, just that the Bureau was pressuring Twitter.
The Bureau was pressuring Twitter to censor. I mean, that's the whole thing here of the Twitter files, but yeah.
Now, what 2 years ago, a year ago, whatever this was, if you said it, you'd be called a conspiracy theorist.
Correct.
And these files come out and it connects the FBI and other government agencies, CIA. It links them directly to influencing Twitter to censor speech. But censoring free speech is a conspiracy theory. And the best the FBI could come up with is, as you read the emails between the heads of Twitter and the FBI, as you read these emails between these two entities about your conspiracies being true, those are just conspiracies.
Yeah.
This is the best the FBI could come up with.
They're not impressive. And, not to mention all of the former agents working in these places as well.
That guy named Redacted.
That's my next
I was
point.
going to send it to you, but I was like, he already saw this 100%.
I want to find, I'm not going to, right? But I want to find out who is this name Redacted account.
No way you're going to.
So what's Captain?
I know you think it might be Alex Jones, which I'm glad you think that, because that's a great outlandish conspiracy theory of your own.
That's a great story, right?
Yeah.
So from name Redacted, again, this is like the third or fourth time we've used him on.
Also, extremely clever name. Fucking fantastic.
Yep. So Google currently employs at least 165 people in high-ranking positions from the intelligence community. Google's trust and safety team is managed by 3 ex-CIA agents who control misinformation and hate speech. Here's the breakdown. CIA 27, FBI 52, NSA 30, Department of Homeland Security 50, Office of, I forget what that is, ODNI 6. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know it. I've heard of it before. I just forget. Yeah. So I mean, I don't necessarily
And
want
it started in 2016. Isn't it strange? All right, so
yeah,
Name Redacted has only done what? Twitter, Facebook, and Google.
and yes, so far that I've seen, it might have done
So
more.
three media companies that we've talked about, at least on this show: Twitter, Facebook, and Google.
Google.
Now, Facebook was one of them, right? Am I
Yes,
wrong?
Facebook was the second one that we.
Okay,
covered.
yes. So now we have three major social media / search engine websites, and all three of them across the board in the disinformation board are all ran by ex-government agents. It's no longer, listen, if Facebook and Twitter both had it, coincidence.
Right.
Now we have a third
Google.
company.
Right.
Is it a coincidence anymore?
Sure.
Okay, you want to argue it's a coincidence? You think Name Redacted is stopping? Do you think a TikTok one's going to come out? Do you think a YouTube one is going to come out? And it's going to be around the same numbers. And guess what? Who's going to be heading the disinformation board? Some ex-CIA guy.
Yeah.
It's no longer a coincidence.
All right, so I'll name one before I finish up here on Name Redacted. So it's point number 3, Nick Rossman, he/him, current Google senior manager, trust and safety, former CIA analyst for 5 years. Again, he is a senior manager at trust and safety for Google. It's funny, not funny, a little bit telling how this is not the first person who has put their pronouns in their bio, who's been one of these positions in the next intelligence agency. Why could that be? Perhaps because that's part of the PSYOP, right? That's being woke. Being woke is a fucking PSYOP. Google is even more important here, right? Think of how ingrained Google is into culture, into just your everyday life.
Google
like you
it.
need a thing.
Google it solves all your problems.
Right, exactly. Now there could be a lot of harmless shit. Like where's the closest car wash? All right, not that big of a deal. But like, you want to look up some information about the war in Ukraine. You think these motherfuckers are not putting their finger on the scale to make sure what's the first, second, third, fourth, fifth thing you see, and what you never see?
Yeah. They talk about it in the Twitter files. It's well known across conspiracy theory platforms that Google will completely eliminate a site from the search if you go straight up against it.
Yeah,
they will make it harder. And think of how Google actually works for 99% of the world that is asleep. Who is going to page 2, 3, and 4?
Right. Yeah.
Who is even scrolling down past the top 3?
Right. Almost
they got a complete control on information.
Yeah. I remember back in 2020, I think it was 2020, the Democratic primaries, Tulsi Gabbard, during the debates, Tulsi Gabbard, I mean, completely fucking shit on Kamala Harris in a couple of debates. And Tulsi Gabbard's website was receiving tremendous traffic afterwards. Why? Because people had wow, that was great. Who is Tulsi Gabbard? Let me go Google her and look her up. And what do you know? Her website disappeared from search results on Google. Why might that have been? And if you think I'm fucking crazy, go and look it up. She sued them, and I believe she won the lawsuit against them for removing her website from the search result. Why?
Conspiracy no more.
Yeah, why? Because they don't want her. They want Kamala, right? Like they want people who are in on the whole thing. They don't want an outsider. And Tulsi Gabbard's not perfect either, but she is somewhat of an outsider. So of course, anything they could do to put their finger on the scale to convince you of something else. They don't want people fucking finding out about Tulsi Gabbard. Of course not. Why? Because they want to psyop you into no. Uncle Joe and Kamala, they're the real ones. They're the patsies. They're the people who are just gonna bend over backwards and do whatever the state. Yeah. It all comes full circle.
Andrew
Tate
Tate saying shit that
The
they
same
don't want
thing.
you to hear. Arrest them, knock them off the internet. Tulsi Gabbard, living proof, knocked you right off the internet. Google said, not in my house.
There's just so many instances of this shit happening. Like if you're actually paying attention and looking at them and researching, and if you're in the loop, it's hard not to be like red pilled. You're gonna be red pilled just by paying attention to what's going on. A lot of people are unplugged though, and they have no idea.
A great source of red pilling.
What's that?
The Two Do Men podcast.
It is, yeah. You're right, yeah. But again, like you'll seem crazy to people, like because they'll be like, no, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. But it did. All of these things did.
I'll never forget. I'll never forget when the Hunter Biden laptop story originally broke. I was working at my old job, and a few people were very left-leaning that I worked with. And one person looked me directly in the face and was like, that is Russian misinformation in the laptop, like straight faced, bought it to her heart. This is what she believed. As the sky is blue, this laptop was Russian.
She even used their approved term. Right?
Yeah. I mean, she bought it hook, line, and sinker, baby.
Yeah, and I could guarantee you that person had no idea, did no research, didn't know anything about the scenario. They saw the thing, they saw the story, they heard the word, they repeated it.
Yeah.
Just like all these people want to talk about the war in Ukraine, don't know the first fucking thing about the history going back to 2014 and prior about the war in Ukraine. Now, granted, I didn't know everything about the history of Ukraine either until I looked into it, till I listened to Scott Horton talk about it. So I watched a couple of documentaries about it, right? But I wasn't out here just like making shit up and spewing out a term or a thing I didn't know nothing fucking about until I knew something about it.
Another full circle. Shocking. They who control the information want you dumb, want you misinformed, want you hearing their information, not the opposing information. We will straight up
misinformation only.
Yeah, we will straight up disappear. We'll disappear the people we don't want you listening to. We'll disappear the people that we can't cancel. We'll disappear the websites that we don't want you searching because it's going to give you the information on the person we don't want you following.
Yeah, we're crazy.
Just like being healthy is racist.
Everything's on the up and up. There's nothing wrong. We're the crazy ones, Don't listen to us. We're crazy. We're psychopaths.
Somehow, 136 government agents now they all retired. They all have pensions.
Yeah.
Think of this. They all
that's statistically normal. That just all of these people. Like imagine if for some reason 156 former McDonald's employees somehow worked all at Trust and Safety at Google. You'd be like, that's pretty weird. Yeah. McDonald's employees? Yeah. Why so many McDonald's employees and concentrated so heavily in one department of Google? And also there's so many McDonald's employees in Twitter in the same department. And also there's all these McDonald's employees in Facebook. Man, they must really like McDonald's at Twitter, Facebook, and Google. Shit.
But go deeper into that. The CIA, the FBI, you don't think they have good retirement plans?
Oh, they're
you don't think they have good pensions?
Government pension, man.
You don't think they got paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for being top analysts for the past 20 years for the CIA? So you worked for the past 20 years of your life in the CIA as a top analyst. Probably got paid great. I ain't saying you're making $100 million a year, but you probably got stock options. You had great health benefits. You had great coverage. God only knows if they fucking taxed you. I wouldn't be surprised about that one. You built up this amazing pension. You retire. And then, I think I want to go back to work. Where should I go back to work? All my friends are working at Twitter. I think I'm going to go like it's a party or something over there.
They must have a good time. Shit. It must be fun fucking censoring everybody. All right. We got one more Twitter file, and this is the one we were waiting for. This is the one.
This is the start of something good. I truly I truly think that this file came about at the time it did because the House of Representatives is changing.
Could be.
Fauci is
They're getting
going to
ready,
be on
right.
the chopping block.
Yep. So this one
when
was,
does it officially switch over to Republican? Like in a week?
I think, right at the beginning of January.
Yeah. So, Trump's January 6th subpoena, dead in the water. It was
Yeah,
taken
I heard.
back
Yep.
because, that was political theater. Here's another guy, lightning rod, who is anti-establishment, is the deep state's biggest nightmare. Oh, we have criminal referrals and all the, okay, let's compare Andrew Tate to Trump here for a second. January 6th committee said, oh, we're going to refer criminal charges against President Donald Trump. And all the left-wing media and all the left-wing blue check shit libs and everybody on social media, oh, Trump's going down. We're indicting him. Criminal charges.
This time we got him.
Yeah. This time 107,945.
Yeah.
We got him. Where the conspiracy? That's the conspiracy that you got him. Okay.
Yeah.
And now the charges are dropped. All the blue check mark people, all the social media companies, all the mainstream media reporters were wrong. And who's all the people cheering that Andrew Tate got arrested today?
The same
people who were wrong.
Yeah, you're right. And it is suspicious, right? But again, we would keep an open mind and see what's going on.
Yep.
So,
it's all speculation.
Twitter COVID files. This was.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to continue my thought on this. I think this was dropped here and now because the House is changing. The January 6th committee is not going to have the power that it has. And if the Republicans are not lying to us, and they are a lying group of assholes, Fauci might be held accountable, or we might get some answers on COVID. And I think after the House changes, we are going to get even more information
I know what you're
on
saying.
COVID.
This could be, part of leading the ramp up to let's get some accountability here for what went down. So this is the COVID Twitter file, and it was published and written by David Zweig, another independent journalist. Just going to read part one. Thread: the Twitter files how Twitter rigged the COVID debate by censoring info that was true but inconvenient to U.S. government policy, by discrediting doctors and other experts who disagreed, by suppressing ordinary users, including some sharing the CDC's own data. I'm not going to read everything. I'm going to skip to a point of note that I remember, point number 18. Give me 1 second. Here it is.
Oh, you're skipping over all the bots, though.
You want to talk about that? Fine.
Yeah,
there's just so much.
Scroll back down. So for context, they talk about how, when COVID first broke out, the Trump administration had reached out to Twitter and social media companies and tried to stop panic buying. And then when the Biden administration got in, they started talking about what happened.
I got it right here. At the onset of the pandemic, according to meeting notes, the Trump administration was especially concerned about panic buying. They came looking for help from the tech companies to combat misinformation about runs on grocery stores. But there were runs on grocery stores, right? So the lesson here to be learned, and you can make your point after this, Cap, is that it was the Trump administration who was also trying to reach out and, censor information on Twitter. Yeah. Albeit dumb shit. Runs on grocery stores, right? They're trying to say, hey, there's no runs on grocery stores. Everyone fucking saw there were runs on grocery stores, right? I remember like the weeks leading up to like the fucking store was crazy. That people were buying everything and they were freaking the fuck out. So the lesson to be learned here is this is just like the Patriot Act. Right? It was the Republicans who it was Bush and them who like put the Patriot Act into power, right? It was Trump who kind of like set the dumb precedent here in a sense. I don't know how far back the relationship goes here, but his administration, I don't know, was it Trump himself? Was it Trump himself? Probably not, right? Yeah. But his administration, was involved in trying to forge this relationship with Twitter to censor information. Yeah. Again, albeit dumb shit. It's going to get way worse once the Biden administration comes into power.
Yeah. I would like to see more of this relationship and more of what
Sure.
they were asking for, because we're reporting on the Twitter files, we're reporting on the internal documents of what took place between government agencies and and social media companies, which is, you know, a authoritarian totalitarian, you know, a dictatorship. They should not have the ability to enter into a private company such as Twitter and control
They're
the
breaking the
information.
law. The first
Yeah.
fucking amendment is a
Yes.
goddamn law, and they're
But
breaking
the
it.
thing here is,
The
though,
people
like,
who was written, the people the fucking First Amendment was written for are the ones fucking violating the thing.
yeah. So, you know, I would like to know more about what the Trump administration did, because the Trump administration just wanted to make things look good. Biden got in and they're like, why aren't we banning
Sure.
anti-vaxxers?
Sure, we're going to get to that. So real quick, it wasn't just Twitter. The meetings with the Trump White House were also attended by Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and others. What is that? That is more proof that the rest of the tech companies are also involved in this whole thing. We just don't have files proving it from them yet, right? Next point, when the Biden administration took over, one of their first meeting requests with Twitter executives was on COVID. The focus was on anti-vaxxer accounts, especially Alex Berenson. You know who Alex Berenson is? He is a former New York Times journalist who was posting a lot of like eye-opening critical shit about COVID during the whole thing was going on. He eventually had his account banned. He sued Twitter. He won. He got his account back. He's like the only person to ever do that. Hasn't released all of the information about the case, but I don't think he needs to anymore because the Twitter files are out and they basically proved the whole thing. Now he's even referenced here in the Twitter files as well. So again, person opposed to the regime, Alex Berenson. What did they do? They kicked him off of Twitter. Who advised Twitter to kick him off? The Biden administration, the state, the government advised Twitter to kick a person off of Twitter who was being critical of the state's policies. That is fascism, literally the textbook fucking definition of fascism and a violation of the First Amendment. I said this a million times. I want to know, like, when's the lawsuit coming? Because there's, in my opinion, very clear law breaking going on here of the First Amendment. I mean, like, I want to see that. I want to see a court case, and the law that was broken was the First Amendment. I mean, when's the last time you heard about that?
That's the end all of this. That, you know, we are lucky enough to be in the position that we are in, that we've been red pilled, that we've you know, gone past the tribalistic points, because right now these files get released and people, oh, this is misinformation, no, this is true, oh, this is all false, you know, the bots, the shit libs, the NPCs, that this is all fake, everybody else opposing them, no, this is true. Me and you, they're all looking at the fight of the files, whether it's real or not, and me and you were like, where does this lead? When is the account,
right? When is justice served?
Yes.
When is there some account?
You know,
like we already knew this shit. This is old news for us. We're just now covering because we want to make sure other people see that we weren't lying, or we weren't making it up, or that we weren't crazy this whole fucking time.
And if, you know, if somebody like YouTube wants to give us a strike, we have, you know, when that what's the lawsuit where everybody could jump on? Oh my God. The class action lawsuit comes on, we'll have proof that Twitter was wrong, and they'll get got just like Andrew Tate did, you know?
Yeah. People still won't believe it though, man. They won't. Some people.
You know what though? If we have a class action lawsuit and we walk away with $1 each, baby, I don't care if they don't believe it.
Well, you know what? If that happens, I'll frame that fucking dollar and put it right back here on Loki's head.
Yeah, I'll get it tattooed on my forearm.
Fair enough. All right, let's skip to point 18, and where David goes, with COVID, the bias bent heavily toward establishment dogmas. Inevitably, dissent yet legitimate content was labeled as misinformation, and the accounts of doctors and others were suspended. both for tweeting opinions and demonstratively true information. Exhibit A, Dr. Martin Koldorf, an epidemiologist at Harvard Medical School, tweeted views at odds with U.S. public health authorities and the American left, the political affiliation of nearly the entire staff at Twitter. What did Martin say? He said, no, thinking that everyone must be vaccinated is as scientifically flawed as thinking that nobody should. COVID vaccines are important for older high-risk people and their caretakers. Those with prior natural infection do not need it, nor children. Now, again, we ain't scientists. We don't know jack shit, right? You might have said during the whole COVID thing that we were fucking crazy. I had many, many arguments with people making that similar point to them, and they were telling me I was wrong. I was crazy. I ain't gonna fucking name any names, but you might know who you are, right? This guy is an epidemiologist at Harvard Medical School. Is that what I mean? Come on. This guy's fucking an insane, crazy conspiracy theorist.
He's a nobody. He's a nobody. He's a nobody. He don't know shit. He don't know his ass from his elbow.
Internal emails show an intent to action by a moderator saying Koldorf's tweet violated the company's COVID-19 misinformation policy and claimed he shared false information. The Koldorf statement was an expert's opinion, one which also happened to be in line with vaccine policies in numerous other countries. So it was actually like, look, if you want to, use the rationale of like, hey, public policy, that's king. Well, it might not have been policy in America, but it was policy in other countries, like what he was kind of saying, right? Perhaps. And again, he's being silenced for it. Yet it was deemed false information by Twitter moderators merely because it differed from CDC guidelines. After Twitter took action, Koldorf's tweet was slapped with a misleading label, and all replies and likes were shut off, throttling the tweet's ability to be seen and shared by many people, the ostensible core function of the platform. Right. Again, like the point of Twitter is you say something for other people to see. So now if you say something that's smart and makes a lot of sense, people will see it, right? Because you've made a good point. They have stopped that from being able to occur. Why? Because the thing someone said is counter to the regime's narrative, their agenda. What is that? That is a psy-op. They're trying to control what you see, what you believe, and what you might learn, right? From an actual expert, not from Chris and Skaggs, two idiots who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, from another doctor who's fucking from Harvard, a genius. They don't want you to hear what that guy has to say. Good.
At the end of the day, in the COVID realm, I won't even go out and to say into the other things, but it does relate to everything else. We witnessed the worst attempt of a cover-up in history.
They're not impressive.
It's a giant cover-up. You didn't even get into the part where Twitter enabled bots to search for vaccine and COVID dis and misinformation. And the bots were tattling on users. And they even had legions of people in the Philippines that were given think trees. So basically, if you understand,
I missed this part. No, I missed this.
So a think tree is basically if somebody says something that aligns with A and B, here's your responses A, B, and C.
I get it.
If they say D and E, okay, you go X, Y, and Z.
Thought, yeah. Okay. So think tree, it's like a thought pattern, a response pattern.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So they were hiring people to just fight back and be an organic person fighting back, but you had responses.
Sure. What did I say a couple episodes ago?
Yes,
I said there's three
exactly
type of bots.
What we were talking about.
Right. There's three type of bots. There's an actual robot algorithm, fake account that's actually not a real person. Then there's a person like Brooklyn Dad. He's a real person. He's behind the keyboard. He's making comments and things like that, but he's essentially a bot. And then there's a combination of both. It's a real person operating a real account, but they're being fed what to say, etc. They're a troll account.
So Twitter was legitimately using this to fight their disinformation. The government was arguing with Twitter. The government had a less of a concern for the First Amendment than the employees at Twitter did. The majority, what made this, what was the first tweet of it? How Twitter rigged the COVID debate?
The debate on it, right?
Yeah.
Again, like
really
the fundamental
was
real quick, the fundamental like thing that Twitter and social media are supposed to be are a platform to discuss, especially Twitter, for debate, for discussion. Like it's all about writing things. It's not like Instagram where it's mostly just photos and shit like that, or Facebook. It's a place to write things. That means it's a place for discussion and debate.
This brings the culpability back into Twitter, because he said twice in this thread that the end all be all was the Twitter higher ups who all leaned left. They went based on the free speech platform, went based on a one-sided political leaning agenda. And then on top of it, they had pressure from the Biden administration to silence people and cover up the fact that the truth was getting out and the truth was an inconvenience to their agenda. Now, I understand, let's say something major happens on the other side of the world. We don't